Eddie.
Hello, Peter Gwynn. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, good. Well done, mate. We're actually connected and you're live on the Creative Copywriting Content Solutions podcast.
Nice to be with you today.
Hey?
So it's nice to be with you today.
Thanks so much, buddy. Okay, so for all you listeners out there, today we are talking with Mr. Peter Gwynn of Hallmark Business Sales here on the Gold Coast. Now, what can you tell us about Hallmark Business Sales and yourself, Peter?
Well, Eddie, Hallmark's been established about 26 years. I founded the company. We sell businesses on behalf of people, and we love it. Yeah.
Yep.
So my background is I was a banker for 20 years, and then I studied accounting before that. So I've got a bit of a unique position of understanding financials and business and selling. So it's a good qualifications to have for this sort of work.
Yeah, fair enough. Now listen, okay, so the whole idea of this was I wanted to sort of give our listeners some tips about what to consider before listing your business for sale. Now, I'm going to assume that's a big list. Yeah?
It's a big list. We can cover a few of them, but maybe the most important ones.
Yeah, so, I mean, based on your experience, what are the most important ones?
I think the mistake a lot of people make when selling their businesses is they don't know what it's worth. And the problem with that is they come in expecting maybe to get $400,000 or $1 million when the business might be worth much less than that. So they're disappointed. So the thing that they can do is establish a relationship with a broker. Yep. And look, if you like them, he'll probably going to do you an appraisal or a valuation as part of the process of developing a relationship with you, in turn to get the business down the track to sell.
Yeah.
So they'll provide that service at no cost. If it's a swan valuation, will cost money, and that's used for court work and whatnot. But an appraisal from a broker should cost them nothing, and that'll be a good start in terms of establishing one whether they can retire from a financial point of view.
Yep.
And two, they'll be putting their business on the market at somewhere near what it's valued at, and the chances of success will be much, much higher.
Okay, so listen, mate, treat me like an idiot. When's the best time to start that relationship with your broker? Obviously not a week before. Would that be correct?
Absolutely correct, Eddie. You're a smart man. Look, 1 to 2 years out would be good. Would be my advice.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of things to be done after you've worked out what the value is. That the broker and the owners and their accountants and their solicitors might see some issues they need to tidy up before they go to market. So that gives them time to do that.
Yeah.
And obviously it builds a nice pipeline of business for the broker.
Okay. There are good tips, because I mean, even when you're talking about an exit strategy, I mean, most of us are planning for an exit strategy even while we're even starting the business, or a lot of people. I know, well, let me rephrase that. A lot of people don't when you start a business, but I mean, I'm already thinking about my exit strategy, even though it's 10 years away.
Well, I've got to congratulate you on that, because not many people do think like that. That's a refreshing process that you're putting in place there, and that will help you immensely. Most people don't do exit planning, and there's not many firms out there that specialise in it.
Right.
One of the partners in our firm does exit planning, but there aren't many firms that specialise in it.
Okay. So, all right. So, what sort of things are potential buyers looking for, mate?
Oh, they're looking for a reliable set of financial information. So, 3 years of tax figures, supported by BAS statements and the like. They're looking for something that they can do. Not people don't generally buy something they don't feel like they're capable of running. So, not every business is going to suit every buyer, but you're trying to marry up people with skills for particular skills to a particular business. And provided they match up, well, then they're going to have a greater a chance of success.
Okay.
I think they're also most people are looking for short hours. You know, everybody's looking for lifestyle. We're becoming a society of lifestyle. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So if you can take time away from your business and there's people there that look after it and that sort of thing, that's going to appeal to a lot of people because they know, you know, that they don't have to be there 24/7.
Well, yeah, you're not a slave to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, well, that answers my question number 3, but that's okay because I'll move on to question number 4. So, you know, when I sell my business, Peter,
yes,
can I build in, I don't know, clauses, I suppose is the word, you know, like for the staff to stay on, or I don't get that luxury when I'm selling?
Look, most people who buy a business want the staff.
Yep.
Most staff are nervous if they ever find out that the business is for sale before it's sold. So that's why most business sales are done without staff or customers or suppliers knowing.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so people are worried about their jobs.
Yeah, they are. It creates a lot of uncertainty, and it's uncertainty that they don't need and the owner doesn't need. So if you haven't got agreements in place with your staff, like employment agreements, get them in place.
Yep.
But, you know, the person coming along to buy the business, we're having an inspection on a business tomorrow, and the person's an investor, and he said, I like the fact that everybody that's in that business now is going to be there after I settle, you know, because it's owned by somebody that lives in Canada. So all the staff here in Australia have got something to do, you know, not an owner exiting or owners not exiting that business. So they want them.
I mean, it makes sense anyway.
Oh, it does,
doesn't it? You know, I mean, the staff are on the front line. They know all the clients. They know the systems, the this and that. I've just heard of instances, or know of instances where certain friends of mine will say their employers' businesses have sold and, you know, they've been put out, but that's just how it is.
For sure, if the person that's coming in or is buying the business is a couple, and you know there's some staff that they don't need.
Yep.
They'll, under the way the contracts work, like a business contracts work, that staff are to be terminated and re-employed by the new owner.
Oh, okay.
So some people are going to miss out. Doesn't happen a lot, I've got to say.
No.
You know, it's generally the owners that exit and the new owners come in and take those positions.
Well, yeah. No, but as I say, it makes sense. So now, okay. So, what's the benefits of using a business brokerage such as yourself, a business sales service such as yourself, as opposed to me sort of selling my business myself?
An interesting discussion with someone this morning, my partner, about this. I said, if you ever worry about employing a broker, just have a think about what they do, what they've got to do to get a successful sale. First of all, they've got to make a sale to you as the owner of the business that you want to employ them to sell your business. That's the first sale.
Yep.
Second sale is you've got to find a buyer out there and convince him and encourage him to buy the business. Then when he's made that decision, his accountant's got to be convinced that he should continue with it. His solicitor should be convinced that he will continue with it. Then the bank has to be convinced to lend the money to buy the business. Then there's the expert friends that will tell you from time to time, why would you want to buy that? So there's a lot of things. And look, I think if you're an owner and you have to get through those 5 or 6 processes, it's going to be too frustrating, and you're going to become emotional, and emotion in the sale of a business is not a good thing. You know, you end up maybe getting offside with the buyer, or it's just better to have that middleman. It's not as easy as selling a house where you go and say to someone, well, there's 5 bedrooms, you know, you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, we're saying there's $500,000 profit, and you know what small businesses like, they've got more ways than you can poke a stick at to be able to hide some of those profits in a proper and professional way, but nevertheless done for their advantage of tax planning or whatever.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, particularly about the emotional factor, you know, I mean, there's obviously benefits. It's like everything, like defend myself in court, but I'm probably better off with a lawyer. Not that I'm going to court, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Someone said to me once, if you have a if you've got a client as a lawyer, you've got a fool as a client, or it's a fool. So yes, you don't represent yourself. You certainly get someone else to do it.
Yeah. Now, okay, so what about mergers and acquisitions, Peter? Are they the sort that I imagine they're more intricate? Yeah.
Yeah, look, they are. It's a fun part of the business, I've got to say, because you're usually dealing with something that's quite big, and it's usually acquired by someone that's already in that industry.
Right.
You know, you see them where big public companies are buying small private companies, or the private equity groups are investing in some of these very dynamic businesses that have been started by entrepreneurs and have done quite well.
Right. Okay.
We've got one on the market at the moment for about 43 million, I think it is. No, sorry, 34 million, got around the wrong way.
Yep.
So it's an exciting project.
Okay. And what's like, I suppose the lead time on that could, be a year, 2 years?
Yes, very good. You're right. But generally speaking, if it's over $1 million, it'll take between 6 and 12 months.
Yep.
If it's under $500,000 or under $500,000, that sort of range, it'll take 3 to 6 months. The bigger transactions do take an extraordinary amount of time.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a quick turnaround.
And based on your experience, does the business owner selling lose momentum through this whole process, or most of them are committed and focused? And
I think
you know what I mean.
What you said before.
Roller
that's
coaster.
Right. It is. But what you said before, they should concentrate on their business. I always say to people, run this business like it's not for sale.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why another reason to appoint a broker is because you can run the business and not be involved in trying to negotiate the sale of it. Concentrate on that. They do generally fine. We've found over the years though that when a new owner takes over, it can go back a little bit before it goes back to where it was and then forward again.
Okay.
It's just that bit of experience that goes out the door with the owner. So maybe always bear that in mind when you're purchasing. That you're going to probably have a tight 6 months in the first 6 to 12 months type of thing.
Okay. All right. So before we wind it up, mate, is there anything else you wanted to add?
I just think that it's great to be in business, and there's some really, really good businesses out there. We tend to look at industrial-based businesses, the sort of things you see in big industrial parks. And the demand is as good as it's been. It went really poorly when the election was called and for a while after the election, but the demand is back again, and it's been a good market for a few years now. So it's a good time for people that are at the age where they want to retire to consider getting out and selling their business.
Okay.
Does that help?
Sorry?
Does that help?
Yeah, mate, that helps. Of course it does. Now, I'm just looking at your website and you've got a free business appraisal. Is that still current?
It is still current.
Okay.
It is, in fact, yeah.
So people can find out more about you at hallmarkbusiness.com.au. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Peter at hallmarkbusiness.com.au.
Yep.
And that free appraisal is the first step that they can do, as we spoke right at the beginning of this podcast. That's the first thing they should do in order to establish where they are in the cycle.
Okay. All righty. Well, mate, thanks so much for your input and insight.
No, thank you, Eddie. I appreciate it.
And,
as always a pleasure to catch up. And
yes.
I think it was you that wrote the website copy, so congratulations.
Yeah, well, I wrote the website copy, and thanks for that, mate.
It works very well too, by the way.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear it, mate. But it's like everything in business, isn't it? You've got to keep working it, keep tweaking, keep evolving.
That is it. I mean, we're constantly looking for new ideas and how to get business.
Yeah.
And, it is a moving target for sure.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, listen.
Thanks again.
Thanks so much for that, and thanks to all you listeners out there. Say goodbye to Peter. I'll say goodbye to Peter. Goodbye, Peter.
Goodbye.
Thanks, mate.
Goodbye, Eddie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.